Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another session at Pioneer Beyond Forum 2020. I hope you guys had an exciting time since morning, and there is a lot of learnings which you are taking away. Now, in our next session, we have industry veteran, Mr. Sandeep Juneja, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at DHL. He has spent more than 16 years and have tons of experience behind him. He holds strong commercial acumen, excellent leadership, and he's a great influencer in his thoughts itself. Right. So the next topic, what Sandeep is going to talk us about, is how the supply chains will become a differentiator for your businesses itself. Sandeep will share a wealth of knowledge on how you can build a strong logistics backbone for your business and leverage it at a global success. Sandeep will present, and then feel free to ask any questions through your Q&A tab onto the right hand side of your panel, and we will be happy to share those questions with Sandeep, and Sandeep will be answering that after his presentation. With that note, I'll let Sandeep take over from here. Sandeep, stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Amit. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you for calling me a veteran. I don't know whether that makes me feel old or not, but I remember joining logistics 16 years ago from an engineering background. So I'm an engineer MBA by my education, and I worked for an engineering company for good 11 years. And I came here thinking, you know what, this will be easy, but I soon learned that I am very young within logistics, and I'm learning every day. There's so much complexity, so much detailing, and the whole industry itself is very vibrant and very, very, very interesting. So here I am today. I'm trying to share some of what I know, but I'm sure there's a lot that the people on the call know. And if they want to share something with me, or they want to ask me anything, or they want to correct me anywhere, please, everybody who's joined the call, you're welcome to put in your comments in Q&A. And after I end my session, I'll try and connect with some of the comments that you make. So here you go. So let me begin with a fun fact, with the did you know fact, right? Fairly interesting. Did you know that millennials are 5 times more likely to have made an online purchase from the bathroom, right? So I didn't know that earlier, but as I started learning more about this fascinating world of e-commerce, I learned about this, and we'll chat a bit more about did you knows later. Um, and I'm sure since morning you've heard a lot of what e-commerce is all about. Um, but from a DHL standpoint, I think we facilitate cross-border e-commerce globally. So I'll sprinkle a few numbers on e-commerce and move through them quickly, though you may already be aware and would have seen a lot of them since morning. So we all know that, I mean, this everybody knows that e-commerce is really powering very fast. So just throw a few numbers, and this is very fascinating to me. And this number used to be far lesser earlier, but today about 2,600 crore devices are online. I mean, as you and I are talking to each other, so many devices are online, right? And a whole lot of shopping happening. So I've converted these numbers into rupees because they hit your mind faster. I don't know. I mean, I really have to sit down and write the number of zeros in 272 lakh crores. That is the amount of spending happening online. And I'll come to how much of that is cross border. 1/7 of every online purchase is cross border. And therefore, this year, but this number is subject to revision because this year has been an absolutely, I think it's just sort of taken off in terms of online spending. But this is also a big number, nearly 70 lakh crores being spent on cross-border purchases. And in cross-border itself, there's 25% expected CAGR for the next 4 or 5 years, right? So I mean, look at businesses around ourselves, right? There are not too many businesses which give you this kind of a CAGR. Close to home, if I was to put a number for India, so in India, we will do about 32,000 crores worth of cross-border e-commerce, right? From India outside, right? So this it's a fairly large number today. It has become from an India outbound perspective, right? Okay, so let's just see how is this acted in the last quarter or so. So if you see some of these numbers here, the online share of retail sales really jumped up. These are to developed countries country numbers, but also for India, right? It's really jumped up. So what we've actually seen is that nearly 4 weeks of quarter 2020, after the COVID lockdown started happening, has equaled 10 years of growth, right? So what the growth we would have got in 10 years, we've got in the last few weeks, actually, in this quarter, right? So it's very, very powerful. And one of the big worries for online shopping has always been acquisition cost and getting people to come and shop online. So I think that trend has hugely taken over now, and you can see the shift in terms of online right now. So let me relate a bit on some of important findings from McKinsey report, and they form the basis of my presentation. One point I've already made, that this kind of growth rate is not available in most other markets. Then the premium cross-border opportunity, despite what we think, is more than just electronics and fashion. So across borders, people are buying far more products than electronics and fashion. This is from a spice trade report that McKinsey had published. The manufacturers who manufacture their own products, they grow 1.3 times faster than other retailers who don't manufacture but buy and sell. So therefore, if you're manufacturing something, the rate of growth is far faster in cross-border growth. Main consumer challenges are three or four, actually, which is logistics, from where we come from. Fact is that logistics is a large cost component of cross-border trade, and it's a very important component. We'll understand that a bit more. Trust that you're able to establish for your products, price that you offer, and the experience that the customer gets. So it's a mix of these four factors. And lastly, going cross-border is far easier than many retailers think. Thanks to off-the-shelf solution and global logistics networks, companies who offer one network for going to many countries, and we'll chat more about that, right? Okay, so what sectors are the fastest growing premium sectors? So you'll see there is a report here, and I can give you access to this report later if you want. And you can see there are many products which are going very, very fast. Yeah. So, and it's not only about electronics and fashion, but a whole lot of products which are growing fast, right? So fashion and electronics are dominant, indeed, but it is just not about fashion technology, right? So beauty, cosmetics, pet care, food and beverages, sporting goods, etc., are also very high growth sectors, right? And the other point is that price is not the only motivator in cross-border. It's about availability, offering, and trust, right? So there's a detailed study that McKinsey has done, and what makes people buy, and it tells you that price could be an initial motivator, yes, but what really depends the other factors that help you sell more and more on online cross-border are some of these factors that I've listed on the screen here. And therefore, better product availability and trust are really long-term drivers, right? So it could be an initial offer-based purchase that people make, but it's the quality of the product, the availability of the product, and the experience that helps build trust, which are long-term drivers, right? So, and niche products enjoy strong growth opportunities. So if you don't have a vanilla product, but you have something special to offer, and look for that niche that offers strong growth opportunities. And therefore, sellers are building advantage through expanding trust-based brand positioning and strong availability of product assortments, right? So the price is not really the key thing, right? It's only an entry gate. So what makes consumers buy from you? 68% consumers choose an e-tailer based on experience, based on lower return rates, the quality of your products, and here comes logistics delivery options, right? So as per a recent survey result, logistics and delivery is considered as the most problematic pain point in cross-border e-commerce. So many of you are in cross-border e-commerce already. Many of you are in domestic and want to get into cross-border. Fact of the matter is, if you get something from Delhi to Bombay or vice versa, you're waiting, and there's so many touch points which happen. But suddenly you start imagining when you're going across to the whole world, in Africa, in America, in Latin, and Europe. So how is it that you are able to control the logistics to give a quality experience to your final customers? It indeed has been found as a problematic pain point in cross-border e-commerce, right? So, and the last point then, which people often ask, what, DHL is a premium company, and why should we choose premium? So therefore, there is a study from McKinsey which recommends why is premium shipping a must-do. That the e-tailers who offer a premium shipping service grow 1.6 times faster than retailers who don't offer premium shipping service. 91% shoppers leave a website if they don't see fast shipping as an available option. If you have premium shipping, the shopping cart value goes up by 70%. So there's a lot of return when you offer premium shipping. and it's an established fact that you should have more than one delivery option, right? So you have more than one type of shipping available. The conversion rates on your products double, right? So therefore, premium shipping in that sense is a must do as in the shopping environment today, and is in that sense a feature for your cross-border offering, right? So okay, so which takes me to my did you know fact too, right? So, and this is pretty interesting that did you know, and Black Friday is coming up, that 12% of all Black Friday shoppers are drunk when they are shopping, right? So this is again an interesting fact, and there are many more interesting facts like that. And once you get into this fascinating world of e-commerce, some of these facts really help you understand how your shoppers are thinking or behaving when they are buying products from you. All right. So here you go, force multiplier solutions for cross-border business. All right. So the first force multiplier, it's very, very important, is that you have to choose a good partner, right? Imagine your power when you choose a partner. You have products and niche products, but by going live on platforms, you know that you will get the local edge in those markets, right? So let's say you're shipping to, everybody talks about America and US all the time. So, but US is not the only market, right? The markets are far, far bigger, right? And therefore, if you get access to 220 countries by sitting here in India, and wherever you are sitting in India, I think it's a huge plus, right? So therefore, when you choose a partner and you choose a partner who adds to the quality of your product, because the fact is, logistics is an integral part of your product offering. When the customer gets the product, he stays in touch with the service provider, logistics service provider, for anything between 2 to 4 to 5 days, right? And the experience that he gets is adds on to the experience of your product, right? So therefore, you have to choose the right partner who gives you access sitting in India to 200 plus countries, and sitting from wherever in India to 200 plus countries, right? So these are some of the things that one has to be careful about when one is going global. The second is, and these are things, now I'm going to talk about things which make your business more profitable and which also make your business far more easy, right? So the second is integration with your website and order management system. So there are systems today available, for instance, DHL Express Commerce, that you, wherever you are displaying and selling your product on globally, you are basically managing your entire shipping experience through one portal, right? So what can happen is that if you link the DHL Express Commerce with the portals that you are selling your products on, you can easily add on the shipping rates. You can easily add on the duty rates at the destination. And therefore, you can tell your customers a final landed price in the local currency of that country. It's as simple as that. And once the customer places the order, all you have to do is with one click, all the order details flow into the shipping module, and shipping labels are generated and documents are created, and off you go, and the shipments can be sent. So it sounds pretty simple. We've actually launched DHL Express Commerce this year, and it is getting IGST ready, because anything which gets launched globally from an India perspective has to be GST ready. Uh, so it has taken us time to create something which is global in its appeal, talks to many, many platforms globally, and therefore makes it very easy for you to operate on these platforms, but but use one single interface for shipping, right? So sell everywhere but ship in one place is the concept around DHL Commerce. So I'll move on to another beautiful thing called on-demand delivery. This is an industry-leading service. So why is it critical? Let's build on a bit on that. So last mile is one of the most critical things. You know, once it reaches your country, once it reaches your city, the anxiety levels of your customers goes up, and so it does for us when we are awaiting a parcel, something we've gone ahead and bought ourselves on a website. So you will see that research tells that 20% residential deliveries fail on first attempt. People are not at home, right? I mean, COVID times are unprecedented. More and more people are at home, but this is a general phenomena that people are not at home. And more than 50% retailers refund delivery charges and pay additional costs. Because of these small nuances, this becomes a big issue, right? And last mile impacts business directly because you have irate customers, you have returns, and to manage all this, you have to deploy additional resources. So the root causes are that the consignee is not home or the contact information is not captured fully, because when things travel internationally, contact information is very, very key, right? The PIN code, the exact city, the state, the telephone numbers, the email ID, etc. Or sometimes consignee's just gone away, right? He's gone to some other location for 15 days. He's shifted by the time your parcels arrive. So we stayed with this problem for quite some time, and sometimes you say if you have to come up with good solutions, you should stay with your problems for some time. So we've stayed with these problems, and I think what we've worked out is a global solution called ODD, which is an automated last mile delivery management system. So what happens is the moment you ship from India, your customer knows that you've shipped using a company, and he starts getting alerts on his mobile phone, and through the links that he gets, he can choose, he can schedule the delivery. He can say, no, no, drop it at my door. I will not sign. It's like contactless delivery. Leave it with my neighbor. Oh, no, no, leave it at a certain point where I will come and collect. He can provide. He said, no, I'm not in Atlanta. I've moved to New York for about 15 days. Can you deliver here? Yes. Or I'm out on vacation. I'll be back in 5 days. I have to leave urgently. So all such services are available. It looks very simple, when I put it out on the slide. But the fact is, when we are implementing this in hundreds of countries, it is very complicated, right? Because our systems, our processes, our couriers, their handheld scanners need to talk to all these facilities, right? So, but now once you link it all up, it becomes very, very powerful. When you ship with the DHL brand and with your brand, the mailers and communications start going to your customers so that their shipping experience really uplifts. So, what are the advantages really? It really gives a superior customer experience, right? And how? That the consignee or the customer takes control of delivery. He doesn't have to call you and ask, right? Because he is himself taken charge. Now, that's big and powerful. It comes with the logo, etc. I talked about that. First attempt delivery goes up to as high as 97%. Less calls come to your customer service. Otherwise, customers keep calling, or sending mails, that my goods are stuck here. I have left for some place. They didn't get delivered yesterday. So all these things are adding on to the customer experience, and there are far lesser returns. So all in all, you have more satisfied customers, and it means good for business. So I'll move on to some shipping solutions from India. Some of you may have heard about it. Now, this is called CSB5. So companies like us and customers like you, we work very closely with the government and regulatory bodies. And then this shipping bill was launched in India a few years ago. We've gone up the learning curve in providing and making it very easy to use CSB5 today. It's gone on EDI in customs. But what really is CSB5? It is the only compliant solution, unless you ship it in formal cargo mode, the only compliant solution to ship in Korea, right? If you're shipping e-commerce good, you have to use CSB5. You have to have a CSB5 shipping solution installed in your office, right? So this is a special mode given for e-commerce shipment. So the government said, you know what? You can use the courier mode because it is faster, it's more convenient. But as long as you use this shipping bill to ship, right? So the courier mode is faster, simpler, very low paperwork. Though there are some negatives on GST benefits, you don't get any. MEIS benefits, you don't get any. And the cargo mode, it's compliant, right? Courier mode is non-compliant. You get GST refund, you get government benefits, but it's slower and there are far more paperwork. So with this advent of CSB5, you got best of both the worlds, right? You got the faster, simpler, along with compliant and the GST refund, and you also get the MEIS benefits, right? So that's CSB5. What it really means for you is that you get GST refunds far more easily. You get MEIS benefits. All of us know that MEIS is going to get sunset by the year end, and another scheme is going to come up, which is going to replace MEIS. But in both the cases, the shipping will benefits you. It's faster because you give us the goods today, we'll uplift today, not tomorrow, day after, unlike in cargo. And there's very little paperwork, right? So it works beautifully in that sense. And it's an end-to-end solution. We've been partnering with some banks. And what we're trying to do is that if you work with that bank as your AD bank, then whatever you ship, then the shipping bill information after you ship goes from us to your bank, so that all your certificates, the BRC, etc., can come from your bank automatically. So we've been doing this work. In this case, we're working with ICICI Bank for that matter, and the solution is more or less done and it's being offered so that it becomes very seamless for you and you don't have to chase the bankers for BRC. You don't have to chase us for shipping bill because the whole loop closes, right? And you get automatic BRC. So that's another solution we've been working on. So this is CSB5. And let me take you to one more, which is Break Bulk Express. So what happens is when our volumes go up, suddenly the paperwork goes up, right? And we say, it's so much of paperwork and I'm shipping through courier mode, okay, but how do I manage so many papers on a daily basis? The other point is that while CSB5 enables GST refunds, it's becoming automatic as EDI is coming in, it enables MEIS. The other thing which gets left out is the duty drawback, which could also be significant, right? When you're doing business and you get anything between 3 to 5 to 6% as a duty drawback, well, that's a big investment back into your business, right? So what customers want to do then is that customers say, you know what, I have to send 100 shipments a day to 100 different buyers from India, but I want to file only one shipping bill. So there is a solution that you can take all 100 shipments or 100 packages or 100 different products that you're selling on one day and consolidate that into a mother at origin. And then you do a mother level clearance at origin. But so the clearance in India happens on one shipping bill. So if you were shipping on courier mode, you would have got 100 shipping bills. But in this case, you get only one shipping bill. Yeah? So you see, it starts becoming simpler. It's a day later in terms of transit time, but you get one shipping bill. But when it reaches the destination, now this is another beautiful part. We have two models when it reaches destination. The first model is that you can clear it at a mother level. But some of you may say, no, my product is a dutiable product at destination. For example, US offers $800 as de minimis. At an individual product level, all my products are below $800. But when you combine them into one mother, obviously they cross more than $800 and they'll become dutiable. I don't want that. So in that case, we've developed a solution in the last 1 year wherein we will take the product from India at a mother level, do customs clearance in India at a mother level, but have an option of doing customs clearance at destination at a baby level so that you can get the de minimis benefits, because it's a legal fact that you are selling to different customers, right? And in India, you wanted to consolidate to reduce your paperwork. It also helps you get duty drawback because it is going through cargo formal mode and you can get duty drawback. But at destination, when you clear it at a baby level, you get the benefit of de minimis. It took us quite some time because we had to develop this solution across many, many countries. We started with US, but today we've developed this across all countries. And therefore, wherever you get de minimis benefits by clearing them at a baby level or an individual shipment level at the destination, we have that solution available today. Okay. So, and then obviously, if you deliver them as individual shipments, so there are many benefits. I said the ease of operation in India, so not multiple paperwork, etc. It saves warehousing costs at destination. So a lot of this is an important point. So a lot of customers, what they do is they open warehouses at destination, right? Because then they stock there, and then they send bulk from here, break it into various parts in the warehouse and distribute it. So here is a solution. You can send bulk from here, and we will break it for you while we are doing customs clearance at the destination. That's why it's called Break Bulk Express. So de minimis clearance, I explained that, and duty drawback. So you get duty drawback as a benefit, and it flows as an investment into your business. Okay, all right. So this is therefore, in that sense, my last presentation. And therefore, if I was to summarize on how to succeed and how to use force multipliers, there are 4 or 5 mantras really. So if you've conducted the market analysis and defined your pitch, and I'm sure you've heard lots since morning today, you develop the right offering and tailor to the target market. So this is my offering. These are the markets that I'm tailoring to. These are the different platforms I can go on to. And you provide the right purchase experience basis your own website or on a platform. And you define whether or not you need warehousing or not, because warehousing and fulfillment is not the end of the world. It does add some credibility in some cases, but takes away some margin which is commensurate to the benefit it's giving to you. But there are models available today, as I explained to you, wherein you can do without warehousing, and use very nimble supply chain models. And then you offer right delivery choices, because if you don't offer more than one delivery choices, if you don't offer premium delivery choices, you're going to miss out on a creamy layer in your business. Yeah. So that's my presentation, and may the force be with you, as they say in Star Wars. Here I am. I'm leaving behind my QR code. So just in case you want to write to us, scan the QR code and drop us a mail. We'll get in touch with you, or you can call us directly on our customer service line. We'll make sure the right person talks to you, or you can even write to us. We this is Yellow Yatra is a brand name for our workshops that we do with customers like you, for enabling them to go cross border. You have any issues, or you want to talk to us about anything, you can write to us on yellow.yatra@dhl.com. Yeah, I'm open for your questions.
Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks a lot for all the information which you have provided. We have got few questions, and I'll be presenting that to you one by one. And the first question which I have got from one of the audience is, how can DHL be affordable for smaller and startup businesses?
Okay, so I think mm, okay, so we do business with a lot of customers who are global giants, and we'll have a contract with the customer. For example, one customer, we are serving them in 180 countries. But fact of the matter is, the belly of our business, the larger contribution of our business, nearly 75% of our business in India, and nearly that amount globally, comes from SMEs, right? So we are a company who are built around SMEs. Anything and everything we do is built around SMEs, right? So the offering we do, the processes we make, customs clearance processes, if you have to call up customer service, anything and everything designed, our approach, the way we reach out to you, the way you can reach out to us, you'll compare us with many companies. We are very accessible. And there are often companies who have this misnomer about us being expensive, but that's not the case really. The fact is that when you choose DHL, you are choosing a service which is very fast around the world, right? And I gave you the number of days, which is anything as low as 1 day in certain countries, 1 to 2 days to maybe 3 or 4 days in certain other countries, right? So this is a premium service you are choosing, and your customers really find you credible when you choose a premium service provider, because they know that their products are safe. So in that sense, I think it's all set. We offer just the right pricing for our customers. So I hope I'm able to communicate to you that the way we are built is around making our offerings for SME customers only.
Right. Sure. So the next question, what I have is on the similar lines. I think you have answered that in the presentation as well, but as it has come recently, I would like to ask, is DHL going to offer services across for smaller packets or the small size shipments across in the future, or how the plans around that one is?
So the difference, I think it's a intelligent question from somebody who obviously knows his subject well. So thank you very much for asking this question. Fact is, the way we operate, and there is the containers we build and the space we occupy. The minimum weight that we charge is half a kilo, which is different than the way some postal companies operate. So there will be a difference in the product offerings of postal companies versus a premium service provider like DHL Express. And that is a difference that you see, and that is that's the reality, right? So that's where we are.
Right. Another question from one of the audience again. Are there any plans in future to update CSB5 portal of DHL, or how we are working towards in terms of the way the things are changing?
Update the CSB5 portal. Okay, so what's happening now is that, so basis feedback from customers, and frankly speaking, CSB5 was something that we invented in India, and we designed it. And the way, so when you ship, for example, when we come and pick up from your facility, as long as you manufactured in that tool, you don't give us any extra paperwork saying, you know what, this year shipment mera CSB5 ka isko alag se treat karna. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? As long as you process the shipments in a CSV5 tool, we take it, and but we get all kinds of shipment. We get samples, we get aircraft engines, we get temperature control products, we get cargo shipments, etc., etc. But we built a simple enough system so you don't have to think too much. इसको extra paperwork देना है वगैरह वगैरह. So therefore, in that sense, we've inbuilt the simplicity. But as we went along, we learned that there are still more things to do, and we've been implementing it. For example, if you have download your shipping bill, you shouldn't have to come to us. I will give you a place where I will park your shipping bills and you can download. The 2-3 new things which are happening is I told you about the tie-up and the development of a solution with ICICI Bank, for that matter, wherein you will not have to provide your shipping bills to the bank. We will create a loop where they will give you your EBRCs. And the other is that the big change is that in the Korea environment in India, in exports, and CSB5 has gone on EDI, right? So therefore, all the process from a custom standpoint is moved from a manual process, which we were trying to make the best of, to a completely EDI automated process, right? So what that will mean is that your shipping bills, when they will come to you, that process also will be far more automated than today. So this process of EDI has just gone live in the last month or so across different ports, and it's ramping up. But you will hear more from us on the banking solution that I told you about, and also on the EDI and how it will make things easy. But my mail ID is sandeep.juneja@dhl.com. If you think I'm not answering your question fully, and there is another pain point you have, drop me an email, and I'm sure we'll learn from that and do something more about it. Amit.
Sure, sure. Thanks a lot for sharing your email address. I have another question. So this relates to BBX. So the question is, in case of BBX, there will be a single shipping bill which will be provided, but how do we clear its realization in EDPMS as the payment will be received from several consignees?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So therefore, when we were designing this solution, we worked with a consultant in India. We work with customs, and we also work with bankers in India. And therefore, I can submit a consultant write-up to you on how it tells you that the bankers are perfectly fine to match the payment. So what happens is, let me elaborate a bit. I don't know how much time do I have, but when we create a shipping bill, the format of the invoice that we plug into the shipping bill has details of the baby bills. So therefore, every shipment that's going, let's say we are sending 100 shipments on one invoice, every shipment will have its identity clear on the invoice. And therefore, that identity and the baby bills in that sense get linked with the final shipping bill. And that works as a connector when the payments come in for the bankers later, just in case there's any query of any sorts. But from a banker perspective, we have evaluated and discussed with bankers, and it's perfectly all right. From a custom perspective, it's okay. I hope I'm answering your question. And that it's going in the the EDPMS bit that you're talking about, right? So so there is a bit of reconciliation there because the exact invoice amount may not hit, and there's a bit of a reconciliation there. But maybe I can drop me an email on the mail IDs I showed to you earlier, and I share the process with you.
Sure. So next question also, I think we can take a couple of more questions right now. So the next question also relates to BBX itself. The next question is, any specified minimum number of child shipments to use BBX, or it can be just 2, 3, 4, or is there a minimum?
You see, when you ship through cargo mode in India, there is a cargo clearance cost which gets attached to it. So it's about 2,500-3,000 rupees for one shipping bill. So as long as it justifies, right? If you're sending 5 shipments, let's say 4 shipments or 5 shipments or 10 shipments, as long as it's worth the pain from your standpoint, what we have to do is we'll do cargo clearance and send it through that process, right? So there really is, I'm sure you'll not use it for one shipment because then the cost adds up. So as long as it makes economical sense to you, there is a compliant process, and this is important in today's world. We have to stay very compliant. There's a compliant process today available for you to ship BBX into many countries from India.
Sure. Last couple of questions, Sandeep, before we run out of time. So the one is there any possibility in future for waiver of advancement fee for e-commerce sellers?
Advancement fee. I don't know of any such fee actually.
Right.
Uh,
So I think I can ask the audience who has asked this question to go to DHL booth, and they can very well clarify by connecting one-on-one with one of the representatives from DHL as well.
Thank you,
Right.
Amit. Yeah, that's a good one.
Sure. The next one, how do you see government easing any logistic document requirements as the market open up post-COVID, especially in the B2C logistics segments?
Logistics document requirement. Yeah.
I mean, again, I think this is quite an open-ended, very open-ended question. So,
Yeah. I mean, look, things are becoming paperless, right? As far as possible, right? So, uh, but from the thought to actual action on ground, there is still some distance to go. Now, for example, in many countries, we offer something called PLT, which is paperless trade, right? So, whatever invoices and bills you prepare in your office, you don't give us any printouts, right? So it just goes from your system to our system to custom system, right? So these processes are ready, but I think it's a matter of time that some of these processes they already started to happen in some environments in customs, but I think it's just a matter of time that this processes like PLT, paperless trade, will come, and then they will start flowing into some of the benefits that we get, which is MEIS clearance, GST clearance, etc., etc. So, but it is going in that direction. Is my answer. I hope that answers your question some bits, Amit.
sure. Yeah. So one last question, Sandeep, before we end. This is coming from a person who is some located in some remote location. So as per them, that they have tried DHL services and they are extremely great first-class services, but the region where they are right now based out of, DHL does not cater to specifically some parts of northeastern part of India. So, any plans of expansion or putting the teams on ground on those regions as well, so that they can avail the services from that part of the world, that part of India?
So there are two ways that we expand. We love expanding. First is by our own intelligence that we analyze. You know what? This is a market where we there are business houses who can benefit from us going and servicing them. But in some cases, we see those houses today. In some cases, we know that those houses, the businesses will develop tomorrow, but we go and invest today. So I don't know the exact market, but on many occasions, there are customers who've told us that, you know what, why don't you come and set up in this place? And we go and set up because customers want us to go and set up, right? So please, if you may let me know now or later, which is the place that you're based in, what you do, and we'll surely evaluate what we can do about it, right? So I hope that
Uh,
answers your question, right? So
Right, Sandeep.
yeah,
So there are a bunch of questions which are pouring in, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I would recommend all the audiences, if they have any questions, there is a full-fledged experienced team of DHL which is available on the booth. Please visit the booth, fix one-on-one meetings, send out a note, and I'm sure they will be happy to answer and take all your queries and questions. Once again, I would like to thank you, Sandeep. Thanks a lot for taking out time and sharing a lot of knowledge, and what you have answered few of the questions for the customers over here. That will be, I'm sure, really, really helpful for them. Thanks a lot for being present here today.
thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.